right now we can't fight white people with their guns because they created a gun. They had access to the gun hundreds of years before we did. But what we do have access to is spirit. We have access to spirit. And when we realize that all the power that we need is within us, and all we have to do is wake up that sleeping giant within us, it's a wrap. Hi guys, thank you guys so much for coming to watch another one of my videos, Debbie with Lively View. We're going to talk about melanin and darkness and what it is, right? And you guys, I just want to ask you to please like, share, and comment, and please share this video and watch it all the way to the end. This is a very, very, very important video. So important for our people. And I'm just praying that you guys will get to the end and kind of see, you know, what I'm laying out here, what I'm talking about in terms of melanin and why it's so important to Black people. All right, so let's invite the ancestors into the room and then we will just go right at it, okay? So let's just take a moment to do that. Okay, all right, so let's talk about melanin and darkness and Blackness and what it really is and why it's important, okay? So, you know, in our world, in the this modern world that we live in, we've been, you know, conditioned to really think that all things Black and all things dark are negative, right? All of our villains are, you know, they wear dark clothing, they're dark people, they're typically Black people. They're all of that, right? We've been conditioned, everything Black is dark. We have blackouts. We have, which I've never understood why we call a blackout when really, when the lights go out, everything is black. So really it should be called a light out and not a blackout, right? I had a good laugh with myself about that the other day because the lights go out. When the lights go out, all we see is darkness. So why do we call it a blackout, right? But that goes into the conditioning of us being taught that all things Black. You know, you get blackballed, like I said, blackout. Everything, you know, that's negative is usually given this term of Black and darkness, right? Even the biggest villain in, you know, our movies, Darth Vader, you know, all Black. And they took it a whole nother step, whole nother level to actually, you know, give him, you know, use a Black man as the voice, you know. James Earl Jones, use his voice. Everybody knows who James Earl Jones is. He's a Black man, right? That was all strategic, right? Just this conditioning about what it means to be Black. And we've been taught that everything Black, everything dark is a negative thing. Now, what I will pose to you guys is that it is just the opposite. Just the opposite, but because we've been conditioned so much and for so long, we don't even, it's right in our face and we don't even see it. In reality, you guys, and listen up real good. In reality, all things Black and all things dark is where life springs from. Life springs from all things dark and all things Black. We get our fruits and our vegetables, the very food that we eat, from Black soil, right? The mother's womb is a dark place that grows children, right? The ocean, at night, it's dark, right? The sky, dark. And most importantly, the universe. 85% of the universe is what they call dark matter, right? We don't think about that. But everything that creates something comes from something that's Black or something that's dark. You name me one thing that springs from whiteness. One thing. One thing. I was thinking about this the other day. What springs from whiteness? The only thing that springs from whiteness that I was able to think about is white people, other white people. That's it. Everything else that's created, creation is built, it comes from, sparks from darkness. Genesis 1:2 says, what about the earth? When God started creating, the earth was dark, right? It says darkness hovered over the deep, right? there's darkness. But we've been conditioned. Even as we've been taught the Bible, we were taught to look at the light that says in that scripture in Genesis 1 that, light came from the darkness. But we've been conditioned to think of the light and not the darkness. But what we have to think about is during that time, or in that creation story, that the darkness was already there. God didn't have to create that. The darkness was already there, right? It's the light that needed to be created. But the darkness was already there, right? Just like our soil is already here. So you say, okay, Debbie, why is this relevant? Why is this important? It's because, one, we've been colorized and conditioned in this world, this Western world that we live in. Not just the Western world, the entire world. That what's black has to get back and what's white is all right, right? But it's just the opposite, you guys. And it's very, very important for us to know that so that we can begin to grow a new pair of eyes and look around in our environment and see that what's black is where creation starts. Right? It's not from the light, it's from the dark, and it was already there and is here. And if we look around ourselves, we will see that all things that create something comes from darkness, but we've been conditioned to think of and see things from the opposite perspective, starting with the Bible. All right, so think about that. Look in your environment and see what's creating things. It's coming from something black. But the most important thing, and what for our discussion here, is to know that the most darkness is in the universe, right? And you say, okay, Debbie, why is that relevant? We're going to go back to melanin, and this is why it's relevant, because that same blackness, 85% in the universe that they can't even figure out, much of it, how it works, they can't even really see it. That same melanin is inside of us. Hear me. That same melanin that's in that darkness that's in the universe is inside of us. Now, as Black people, we get caught up on this melanin that's the color of our skin, and this is a big thing. This is something that differentiates us, right? But our biggest concentration of melanin, and it's the same melanin that's in the universe, is inside of us, and it's located in 3 places. It's in our central nervous system. That's that spinal cord that goes up our back, right? And a lot of people understand and know that when that spinal cord is lit up, or energy hits it, that's when you have Kundalini rising, right? So we have a tremendous amount of melanin in our spinal cord, and the other places that we have it, 2 other significant places, is in our brain. You guys heard of dark matter in the brain, that we only use 10% of our brain? That's because it's dormant. That dark matter is here, waiting to be awakened. Right? It's here, waiting to be awakened. And then the other place, apart from the dark matter in our brain, the other place where melanin is in the pineal gland. And I'm sure that you guys have heard about that. It's also referred to as the black dot. It too is also black, and it too is completely, has melanin throughout it, okay? So those are the 3 places, and when those 3 are aligned, and when those 3 awaken within us, and I'm speaking about Black people, in our spinal cord, in the pineal gland, and then the dark matter in our brains, that is when we have what you call an ascended individual, a person who is quote unquote woke, right? Because it's that dark matter, that melanin that's throughout these 3 places that I just mentioned, and it matches the melanin that's in the universe. Because then at that point in time, we match what's in the universe. So then we therefore know how the universe operates, and we have access to the information that's in the universe. And that's why they call it being awakened or woke, right? Now, there's some argument about whether white people, and I'm not going to go into this, that many white people, it's not even an argument, it's actually been documented that when white people traveled north, that their pineal gland became calcified. So they don't have access to awakening their pineal gland like Black people do, right? Now, I'm not going to go because I don't know a whole bunch about that, and I'm not one who likes to talk about things that I don't know exactly about. But I know for Black people, we have access to all 3. And then our job is about getting about the business of waking those three up. Because at the point in time when Black people as a nation, as a group, we awaken those 3 points, oh my God. Oh my God. What's possible for us, right? We can move mountains, you guys, because here it is, spirit, and I hate to use this word, trumps matter. Every time. Spirit will overcome matter. See, you know, and you guys, I'm just gonna go here. Right now, we can't fight white people with their guns because they created a gun. They had access to the gun hundreds of years before we did. But what we do have access to is spirit. We have access to spirit. And when we realize that all the power that we need is within us, and all we have to do is wake up that sleeping giant within us, it's a wrap. We can do whatever we want to do whenever we want to do it. And this is the information, you guys, that a lot of people are trying to keep from us. And that's why I say, if you watch this video, please share it with your other friends and please watch it all the way to the end, right? This is what it's all about. And I'm going to talk a little bit about in my next video of what it means or how we can go about to, you know, weaken these points in our body. And it ain't easy. It ain't for the faint of heart. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That's why everybody's not walking around a whoop, right? But it's possible. Okay, I'm gonna stop here because I don't want to make my videos too long. But I will see you guys next time. And until that time, please like, share, comment. And until next time, I want us to say ashe. Okay? Peace out.